With me now is Republican Congressman Tom McClintock of California, who sits on the Budget and House Judiciary Committees. Congressman, welcome to this show. We just heard the president speaking there a moment ago. What did you make of his speech today?
I thought it was a phenomenal speech, restoring America's traditional approach to defense and to international relations. You know, he returns to the common sense of John Quincy Adams, who famously said, "America does not go abroad in search of monsters to destroy. She is the well-wisher to the freedom and independence of all." And I think that President Trump is clearly refocusing on that singular mission of American armed forces, to defend our country and our interests abroad when diplomacy fails.
Congressman, if I can, I want to turn to that terrible news that we've been following this week. 2 Israeli embassy staffers who were killed by an alleged gunman in D.C., a man who shouted "Free Palestine" after the shooting. Coming up this hour, we're going to have this firsthand account from a witness who was actually there. But we also know Attorney General Pam Bondi has come out. She said she spoke with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying this. Take a listen real quick.
And it broke my heart to talk to Bibi last night. He was devastated. And I assured him we were looking into this. Of course, all of our investigators were working together. And I also spoke to President Trump multiple times, who was just heartbroken and devastated by this. And, you know, his first directive to us was make America safe again. And that's what we are going to do.
I think one of the big questions following this incident is what needs to happen for America to become safe, particularly for Jewish Americans.
I wish I had the answer to that question. Something is desperately wrong in our society. Violence is being looked upon more and more as a solution to our political differences. And there were so many incidents recently. Of course, this terrible, tragic crime. But we had a former FBI director send out something very provocative against the president. I was sitting in the House Budget Committee hearing last Friday, and I saw in the audience there was a little girl, couldn't have been more than 12 or 13 years old, and she was wearing a sweatshirt that said "Free Luigi," referring to the accused assassin of the health insurance executive a few months ago. This is permeating our society, and I wish I had an answer on how to deal with it. But, as Lincoln said, there is no political grievance that is fit object for redress by a mob. And yet that, again, seems to be the direction that we're drifting.
Yeah, I think the question becomes, where is the line between disagreement and action like this? And how does, something like a Free Luigi shirt or the elevated level of rhetoric around Palestine and Israel lead to actions like this? Let me ask you this, staying on the topic of safety. State Department spokeswoman Tammy Bruce appeared on NewsNation last hour talking about Trump's reported plans to slash the National Security Council in half. Take a listen to what she had to say.
This has been the deep state, a bureaucracy that has been developing the policy and then telling the president or telling cabinet members what's best to do. That's unacceptable. We have real leaders who have their own vision. Trump was elected not to manage a bureaucracy, but to be a leader. And of course, it's not about dissembling anything. It's about making creating a size of an operation that can be helpful in implementing the president's agenda.
Congressman, do you have any concerns that these potential cuts are going to be putting American safety at risk further?
On the contrary, I think they will be enhancing American safety. The Constitution is very clear that the executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. There is no such thing as an independent bureaucracy. If there was, that means a bureaucracy independent of the American people through the votes they cast when they elect their president. I think that this administration is restoring that vital linkage between the will of the people as expressed at the ballot box through their president, who is solely charged under the Constitution with exercising the executive powers.
I'm a little confused, and I'm sure people at home are as well. When it comes to the NSC, you're saying you disagree with that. How is less more?
I think we need an NSC. In fact, I think we need an entire federal bureaucracy that is responsive to the President of the United States, who is the sole repository under our Constitution of the executive authority. That's the way the founders designed our system to work. They wanted a great, big, ugly food fight when a decision was being made. Welcome to Congress. But once that decision was made, they wanted a single individual to carry that out, subject to election by the American people. And that's what we have in our Constitution. We've drifted far from that with these agencies that take on a life of their own, don't care what the policy of the elected president is, but continue down their own path. That is not a democratic system.
I guess this is one we're going to have to see potentially play out here in